Okay, this is now 3 months in a row I've spent $60 trying to get the S rank. So that's, what, $180? No. Yeah, it's $180 in 3 months. That's more money as, well, yeah. Anyways, so you notice something kind of fishy about the highlighted coupon here? It says Strike Freedom Gundam METEOR. Okay, whatever. But notice, if you would, that doesn't look like the Strike Freedom METEOR. In fact, it doesn't look like the Strike Freedom. It doesn't even look like a Gundam. This is actually the second time this has happened. So I have it on reliable authority, though, that it does actually give the Strike Freedom. I thought I'd like to point that out before I moved on. Oh, by the way, it took $60 to get this, and it took $20 to get this plus another one. GG, OGP, GG. Oh, I know, I'm going to do a points exchange. No, I'd rather get some EXP. Yeah, exactly. God, I hope I actually selected it if I didn't know. Okay, there it is. I bet you there are people who have done that. They've said, yeah, I selected the right one, and then they accidentally selected the wrong one. It's like, eh. So, we got this a lot earlier than we weren't expecting Strike Freedom METEOR for, what, another 5 months at least. Because this came out, I don't know, mid last year in Korea, so we got this a lot quicker. A lot quicker. Oh well, we got it. Finally, I can use a meteor pack and not have to worry about purging for a change. Ugh. So I'm guessing one on the thruster there, and then one on each shoulder. So far so good. Yep. Now, of course, I'm going to try and match it with my Strike Freedom, so... Okay, at least, yeah, the regular Strike Freedom I've got. I'm trying to remember how I did this. Let's see, was that... Nah, that can't be right. What did I do? What did I do? I did... Where is it? There it is. Okay, blue for white for blue. Oh, and I got gray there. Okay. White for blue. Got it. And since I love the khaki 3... Oh, shit. No! Oh, come on. I wanted those things. Consistency here, Softmax, please. Well, that kind of ruined that. Super Dragoon Mobile Armament Wing. Okay, I guess that means it's a scattering gun, huh? Whatever. Presumably that's a knockdown. I don't know why, but yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be the belly beam cannon. Of course, as we all know, they've got an immunity to long-range weapons. Which means this demo's gonna take for bloody hour. Holy shit. Wait, what? Wait, what? God, do those actually only shoot once and then disappear? Those might be the most useless weapon on this thing. Whoever the hell's gonna use these things? Yeah, they fire once and that's it. They don't even do a great amount of damage. I don't know, maybe I'm tired of something. Non-dash melee. Did not know that. Or if I did, it's been a while. Eight shots with a decent reload. Good damage, too. I doubt you can be very close to these. Oh, you can be very close to them. Not 3 shots, wow. Oh, I see, they catch you with the reload. Well, that's not bad. Wait, so it's a 4-swing? Wait, what? Is this a 4-swing or a 2? Oh, it's a 4-swing. Unless I'm lagging so badly. What am I recording? Okay, yeah, I'm recording. Because I'm lagging, that's why. Looks like it might be maybe a 4-swing, not sure. I don't know, maybe I'm tired, but I'm starting to think this wasn't worth $60. Although, I did learn a very valuable lesson: never, ever, ever. If there's a BR and an SR in the same capsule event, never, ever, ever build the BR first, ever. Because this thing took about $20 more than it should have. Yeah, maybe it's just me. I don't think this is going to be very different. Of course, it would help if I wasn't lagging. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Kira, you fail again! You suck! Ordinarily, I don't do these reshoots, especially 6 months after the fact, but I felt it necessary to clarify a couple of points that were kind of head scratch worthy when I made the initial recordings 6 months ago, at least for the Strike Fighter Meteor. First thing I wanted to point out: Weapon 2 does knock over, but the thing is, as we all know, training drones do not knock over from long-range cannons like this. I don't know why, they just don't, because Zaku 2s, they have that, that long-range defense that prevents them from getting knocked over from long-range weapons. Second thing I wanted to point out is the Super Dragoons. Note the HP on the right side drone. Even though each of the drones fired only once, look at the amount of damage that was incurred. It's still a third of the HP of a C rank, which will be about a fourth the HP of an S rank or an A rank. So in other words, these Super Dragoons do, despite the name, and despite the fact that they are only out there for one shot each, they're still doing exactly the same. And whether the target's moving or not, you'll get criticals or you'll get hits or smashes or whatever. You're still doing the exact same amount of damage with these Super Dragoons as you would any other remote weapon in SDGO. The difference is it's only firing once. So, interestingly enough, they're actually doing more damage in a shorter amount of time. So that's where the advantage of using these Super Dragoons is. If you need a breather or something like that, you throw these out, because you're probably not going to be worried about homing missiles or worried about these things. These things actually have a reload you need to worry about, because you do drain them fairly quickly. So if you need to buy yourself a little bit of time, you're going to want to throw out those Super Dragoons. Those will give you the time you need to recharge your weapons real quickly, and it'll hurt them nicely. Speaking of the other mode, you still can't transform when the Dragoons are out. Why, I don't know, but you can't. The third thing I want to point out is the melee reach. Even though the reticule is green, you can't hit them from that far away. Despite the fact that this is considered a big unit, uh, even though it's just an oversized backpack, even though it's considered a mobile armor, you're not. It has a deceptively short melee reach on it. So basically, the rule of thumb that I use is, well, the reach that you see on the blades themselves right here and right now, that's the amount of space you have to work with. So despite the fact that it's a mobile armor, it's a big unit, it still has a fairly short reach. And for whatever reason, these Zaku 2s have an aversion to two-hit melees, so you have to hit them 3 times. The melee on this is a 2-hit to knockdown, unless it's an anti-flinch, in which case you will have to hit them 3 times. So those are the things I wanted to clarify real quickly while I'm in a practice mode of some kind. After using this unit for 6 months and getting some feedback from other people regarding some of the other videos I've done, I suddenly felt compelled to also provide maybe a suggestion for a type of build you might go with. There's a couple of things. One, it is a former paper, long-range combat, so boost duration is an issue, speed is an issue. Speed is usually not an issue. That's usually not my problem or my complaint with papers. It's usually the boost duration. So ordinarily, I would say a mobility type. However, because of this, in the 6 months since I recorded my initial stuff, we've gotten the upgraded custom part system. So it really doesn't matter which custom parts system you use. If you're more of a defensive person like me, there's your booster reduction. If you prefer a balance type, there's your booster reduction. So blah blah. It doesn't really matter which one of these you pick. I would recommend increasing the boost duration a little bit. Not that it gives you much choice how much. 10% is all you're going to get out of that thing. What I would recommend, though, is doing something about those ranged weapons. That is a bit of an issue. Now, this is a long-range unit. It specializes in long range. You may want to add in some long-range reload. I would recommend that. Now, the previous custom part system, as much as I hate the fact there was a substitution system, you could actually recharge weapons faster. So, you're just going to have to deal with it. So I would recommend long range reload just because Weapon 1, even though it has more ammo, it still reloads at the exact same speed that Weapon 2 does. But if you're going to stay in this mode for long periods of time, yeah, you're going to need the reload up, especially since this is a medium range weapon. Yeah, you can fire it and back off, but considering how close you have to get, and then you have to take the time to back off again, you're not really going to have much flexibility there between long range and short range. You're kind of confined by what these things are, so you kind of need, and also once you fire these off, you're going to need the ammo to wait for these things to recharge before you can transform back. So a reload on these would not hurt. The other thing is, I would recommend the medium range reload as well, because this is your primary spam weapon. This is the weapon you're going to be firing a lot. However, the reload is not your average beam rifle reload rate. It's actually a hair slower. And of course, that being the case, you don't want to depend entirely on this. Where they get you on the fact that you can fire so many of these homing missiles, it's the full armor double Zeta all over again. Where they catch you with those homing missiles is in the reload rate, so you definitely want to do something about that. Now, as I just mentioned, for the long range reload, medium range reload, they only give you 5%. But yeah, I would say reload and reload. Because when you throw these out, you're going to want to have something you're going to want to use these until you get these back so that you can transform into your alternate mode. And then once you get here, your homing missiles, you want to be able to trade it off with the Super Dragoon scattering beam gun or whatever it is. So reloads actually are a bit of an issue with this thing. Because it's a paper, I would recommend the booster expansion. If you think the booster duration is fine, there's two things. There's two ways you can go from here. One, because it's a mobile armor, or in other words, because it's a big unit, people have the enemy tends to group up on those big units, get them out of the way as fast as possible, especially in a deathmatch or tag, neither of which I play professionally, by the way. So any big unit, even if you're not big on defense, if you want to make it last longer and you want to withstand those multiple special attacks, you're going to want to put some HP on it, some additional HP. I don't think the defense build gives you extra HP unless you take it all the way to EX. And, how often does that happen for big units in this game? So, let's see, what are these attack type? Okay. So, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to have that on there. Or if you want to, you can put this on here. I did notice in the demo, in training mode, that those Zakutus and those Dooms, is it Doom or Dom? I think it's Doom, even though it's spelled with one O. The Super Dragoons, despite the fact that it was a scattering beam gun without the scattering effect, it's multiple beams. It still wasn't that great in the amount of damage it was doing out. And likewise, if you're going to be spamming long range, these were not doing a lot of damage. So I also think it would not hurt. If like I said, if you've got the space to spare, I don't think it would hurt to do an attack up. That's the reason I went with the attack type, is because you've got the flexibility here. So I don't think it would hurt to do an attack up of some kind. Again, 9 points, 9%. It'd be nice if OGP was clear about that. That would be helpful. Or, I don't know, maybe this one, or probably this one, because it's a 7%. That's. I think 7% is actually larger than 9 points. I have no idea what this does, and I have no idea what this does. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple different ways you can go. For it's a big unit, you're going to want to increase the HP. Because it's a big unit, and because it's a form of paper, you want to increase the boost duration. However, if you feel confident with the boost duration and speed, if you feel confident in dodging special attacks and keeping yourself mobile in a big unit, go ahead and increase the attack up. Or go ahead and increase the attack damage. That is what I would recommend for a build for this thing. So the attack type, and primarily the attack type, because you've got that flexibility in the types of attack ups you can do. Shield type, the shields are on the side. They removed the shield from the back of the Meteor, so you can be critted there again. If you think you need an increase in your shield, you can, but just remember the shield is only on the sides of the Strike Freedom Meteor. Attack speed seemed to be fine. Attack cooldown seemed to be fine. Defense, I don't know. And you're probably going to ignore this one just because you only have one close range weapon. Agility seemed to be fine. I wouldn't worry about it too much. So yes, that's the kind of build that I would do with the Strike Freedom Meteor. 6 months later, is it still worth it? Kind of worth it. It's not worth $60. No, I don't think so. The CCM is probably going to drive you crazy. That's the only way you can get this unit at this point, unless there's another event of some kind, which I doubt will happen. But is Strike Freedom Meteor worth it? Honestly, if you're strapped for cash and you don't want to run through the custom capsule machine, or you don't want to put the Astros into the custom capsule machine, honestly, your safe bet's probably going to be the regular Freedom Meteor. Regular Freedom Meteor is just as good. As a matter of fact, I still use Freedom Meteor regularly. The only thing that concerns me about Freedom Meteor is it's a purging unit. In that case, the Strike Freedom Meteor is going to be your better bet, because you've got access to all 6 weapons whenever you want to, as opposed to Freedom Meteor, where you can keep your distance for a long amount of times, but you're deprived of the ability to defend yourself at close range. Freedom Meteor is the better bet. If custom capsule machine, or if you're not into an SR, if you think it's too much of an investment, just go with the regular Freedom Meteor. You're not going to lose anything by going that way. You might lose the ability to paint up a couple of areas, but overall, Freedom Meteor is not a bad investment. Strike Freedom Meteor is just a different animal. Whether it's worth it or not at that point is a decision that I can only leave up to you. Okay, I think it's safe for me to close out now. This is AV Unit 4A saying thanks for tuning in.